In this tutorial we're going to be learning how to make the dialog box a custom made dialog box. Right now it's just a very simple flat gray with gray buttons, blue buttons and things like that. So we want to change that. I've already made a button that we're going to use for this, just a very simple gray, beveled edges, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you how to set it up and do everything like that. So right now we see the box as a full size box the way it is. What you're going to do is go to this background right here, and you're going to see where it says background dialog 40 by 40. Now clearly this is not a 40 by 40 image, so we're going to be adjusting the size to make it so that it is a 40 by 40 image, but expanded to make it the correct size. And this is going to be for this dialog box here. The buttons and the menu box all fall under the same principle, the same rules, same game. Just depends on the size of the initial item. Like on the buttons, you see 60 by 72, 60 by 72. On the search field, you've got 23 by 21. Very small, but it's all the same principle. So the one that I made is for the dialog box, and we're going to be going in there, and we're going to be going to our tutorial folder, and that is the button that we're going to be using, 40 by 40. Now this is what happens when you press on that. It is all 40 by 40 by 40 by 40 little tiny boxes. So what we need to do is we need to stretch the boxes out to make them all one box. Very simple to do that. Does not take anything at all. We're going to click on tile image, which is going to pop up the preview along with the tile image and left, right, top, and bottom. This is where we go about changing the size of this one box. Now the principle behind this is that it takes all of these little boxes and merges them together. So what we want to do is we want to start with the left. And you see this little line right here is going to be pushing in, and you're going to see these start to merge together as well. So we want to go to where those end up, where they're both flat on top and bottom, past the curve, and everything like that, which is 10 in this case. Could be higher on different other ones, could be lower on other ones. So we're going to be taking the right, and same principle, and moving it up. And now you see we have, instead of a bunch of little boxes, we have 3 long boxes. So now we're going to adjust the top, and we're going to bring the top down quite a bit. Now that's because of this beveled edge right here. We want this line to be below the that line. So now we bring the bottom up, and let's step back a little bit. Now you see these little shadow areas right here. Once those are gone, your box is complete. So now we hit OK, and there is your box, complete in total. This image changed to this image, and all of this image is a lot of the 40 by 40 images all merged together. And like I said, the same principle applies to the buttons, and the same principle applies to the search field. And I do believe that's all the ones in there that apply to that. I know there is the menu, that is same thing, 40 by 40. So let's go ahead and change the menu so we can see how that works too. So tutorial dialog, same thing, you got all the little buttons right here. So we're going to change that. We're going to change the left. We're going to change the right. We're going to drop the top. And we're going to raise the bottom. See, there's no little divots around the edge. It's all very nice and clean. And we hit OK, and now you have your custom menu box. The title bar is a lot more complicated, being that you're only using a picture that is 30 pixels tall, so it's a little more complicated to use, but it is still very doable. If you saw my next generation for the BlackBerry Storm, then the title bar is actually a well, in that case it's a 360 by I believe it's 21 or something like that, that I just stretched out to make the title bar, and it made it that way. But that is your custom tile box. Now, a lot of times you'll use a type of tile box that doesn't work. Let me just show you what I mean with that one. So we're going to go to background, and for this one I'm going to be going into a theme that I made a while ago. I believe it is window look. Okay, so menu box. Now 40 by 40 image, and so we see that's all one image, but it's not uniform on the inside. And let me show you what happens when you do that. You bring the sides past the bevels, and bring the side past the bevels, and so you see how it's kind of jagged in here. And then you bring it down past the bevels, and you bring it up past the bevels. Now, the reason I showed you this is because you see all in here where it's all not very uniform. It's kind of chipped up a little bit, and that's how it comes out. So the difference between this one and that one is that this one is uniform right to left, and for the most part top to bottom. It's more important that you have a uniform right to left. That way when you move your right in and you move your left in, or your left and your right, the boxes will remain the same. A very simple process to do. Does not take hardly any time to do it. The hardest thing is just coming up with the box. So enjoy yourself when making the boxes. Take some time. It's not something you're going to need to practice a lot. As long as you can pay attention to that little box, you'll do just fine.